Okay, for warm-up number 11, what is the value of x in the solution of systems below? So when it's asking for the value of x and we have a systems, we're going to try to solve by elimination. And I recommend eliminating the y value so you can solve for x, since x is what it's asking for. So you're going to need to multiply both equations by a number to eliminate the y. So you'll notice we have 8x minus 4y and 24x plus 3y. Generally, your automatic reaction would be to multiply this by 3 and then eliminate the x. But if we're trying to solve for x, I recommend solving for the y, eliminating the y. So that's going to look like this. We're going to multiply that whole first equation by 3. And when I multiply that first equation by 3, I get 24x minus 12y equals 48. Because I multiplied that 3 times every term, the 8, the negative 4, and the 16. Then I'm going to multiply this second equation by 4. So by multiplying the first equation by 3, which was my y value, and the second equation by 4, which was this y value, then I end up with the same y value, the same coefficient for this y term. Now that I have the same coefficient with opposite signs, I'm going to add the equations together. And when I add these equations together, I get 120x plus 0 is equal to 216. Now I divide by 120 on both sides, and I find that x is equal to 1.8. For question 2, a student bought shoes online. The total cost T of the pairs of shoes, S, can be found by the function below. If the student spent $569.73 on shoes, how many pairs did he buy? So in this function, I have a T value, which is the total cost. I have the 62.50, which is the rate of change, which is how much a shoe costs per pair. The S is the number of shoes that he would purchase, that the student would purchase, plus the $7.23, which would be the initial amount. Maybe that's the fixed tax amount, I'm not sure. So to solve this equation, I'm going to plug in the cost, the $569.73 for T, and then solve for S. So my first step is going to be to subtract the $7.23 from both sides. And I get $562.50 is equal to $62.50 times S. Then I divide by 62.50 on both sides, and I find that the number of shoes is 9. So the answer is D. Moving on to the function of the day. Again, here I have a function, and I want to rearrange it to slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So I need to isolate this y, or get rid of this 2. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, and I get y is equal to 3 multiplied by x plus 4 minus 2. And that simplifies to be y equals 3x plus 12, because I took this 3 and I distribute it to both terms in the parentheses. So 3x plus 12 minus 2, well, that becomes y is equal to 3x plus 10. So now I'm in slope-intercept form. Now I can use this function to fill in this table. The first thing I'm going to look at is that positive 10, because that's my y-intercept. So I can list my y-intercept as 0, 10. And I can also put that in my table, because anytime my x is 0, that's going to be my y-intercept of 10. I can't graph it on this coordinate plane because it doesn't fit on the graph. Then I'm going to find f of -2. So I'm going to plug -2 into this function. So I have 3 multiplied by -2 plus 10, which is -6 plus 10, which is equal to 4. So I fill that in the table here, and I put the point on my graph. Then I have f of 2 is equal to 3 times 2. So I'm going to plug in the 2 now for my x, plus 10. That's equal to 6 plus 10, which is equal to 16. Again, I cannot fit that on my graph, so I can't graph that point. Then I go ahead and do that for f of 4. I'm going to plug in that x value for 4. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 10 is equal to 22. Finally, I'm going to find f of 5, which is equal to 3 times 5 plus 10, and I get 25. Now, I still need to graph this line, so I can either graph this line by looking at my slope, since I was able to graph this point, and my slope is a positive 3, so that's 3 over 1. So if I go down 3 into the left one, that's still a positive 3 slope. Or I can find f of -3, which is -1, and I have my point, and I can graph my line. Don't forget to graph your line for your function of the day. I am looking for it when I check the warm-ups. All right, that's it for our warm-ups today, guys.